छोटा सा था मैं, तो माँ बाप गए। मेरी बहन तारा नहीं पाला पोसा मुझे।
जब भी चांद को देखता हूँ तो माँ की याद आती है।
मेरा कलेजा है तारा, पर उस बेचारी की किस्मत तो मुझसे भी ज्यादा फूटी निकली।
हरामी खबरी साला, छोड़ूंगा नहीं उसको मैं।
कहाँ ले जा रहे हैं? तारा! कहाँ जा रहे हो? तारा क्या हुआ तारा? इसको कहाँ लेके जा रहे हो आप?
Malavika, Ishaan, congratulations on Beyond the Clouds. I wanted to ask you first off, what is it like to make your debut? Malavika, I know you've done films before, but this is your Hindi film debut. What is it like to make your debut with somebody of the stature of a Majid Majidi? You know, when he walks onto set, you're newbies. How do you perform? How do you guys do it?
Well, first off, thank you for having us. I think it was just, you know, at first I felt extremely fortunate that I got to work under him in any capacity. And this is something I've been aspiring to do all my life, and I'm most passionate about performing for the camera, dancing and acting. I'm very involved in cinema and I watch a lot of cinema, and of course I'd seen his films before I met with him. When this opportunity came to me at first, I don't think there was time for me to really register what this meant at first. I mean, of course, right off the bat, when you're told that there's a film being directed by Majid Majidi and you're being considered to play a part, I mean, you know, that he would like for me to audition, and it startles you at first and you understand the value of that. But I think you learn the meaning of it as you go. For me, I think I knew what he represented among cinegoers all over the world and what he means and how, his relevance to cinema. But it was only after meeting him that I realized why he makes the kind of films he does, because he has this remarkable aura about him. You know, it's unmissable, and it's because he's such a self-assured man. And so just meeting him in general, you know, even without all the baggage of knowing his stature and who he is and his previous achievements, I think I almost immediately felt secure. You know, more than feeling insecure around him, I felt as if, oh, I can, you know, ride on his wing, and there's so much to learn here that I was only looking at the positives of the whole thing. So I was fairly excited more than, you know, being anxious about walking around him on set.
Malavika, was it like that for you? Did you also want to ride on his wing?
Definitely. But for me, I think, so I came on board around 10 to 15 days before they began shooting for the film. And I think I was the last person to be cast for the film. So for me, there was no time for it to sink in, you know. Like one moment, I was getting a call saying that, you know, you've been finalized, you're doing the film. And the entire week I was prepping, I went to Dhobi Ghat. So it was all so surreal that I think it actually sunk in after the shooting got over, you know. I remember one day sitting at home, I very clearly remember the moment that I just went like, I just did a Majid Majidi film, you know. That was the moment it sunk in, because yeah, I mean, I dived right into it as soon as, you know, I was cast, and then the prep began, then we were shooting, and that was a completely magical experience in itself.
But that must have also been hard, no? Because he likes to shoot on location, he likes to work with non-professional actors. You know, that scene where you are in that mud, quicksand, whatever that was. I mean, it just looked terrifying. I was just thinking, like, how hard did he have to bathe after that?
Oh, they needed a legit water tanker to clean that off of us, because a normal shower just wouldn't do the trick.
Would not it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that like, and what was his direction to the two of you as actors? Does he show you how to do scenes? How does he direct?
Do you want to take this first?
Sure. I think his direction for every scene is very, very different. You know, there's no rule as such, or there's no particular pattern that he follows per se. At least I don't think so. I think it's very instinctive for him, and also he really reads you as a person. You know, he kind of figures out what kind of a person you are, where you come from, in a sense what your psychology is. He figures that out, and then he directs you according to that, you know. So for some scenes he's come and he's told me exactly what to do, from looking down, taking a beat, and then looking at the character, and that's specific, you know. And then there have been certain scenes where he's not come and said anything, and I'm just getting anxious that why is, you know, somebody not telling me something.
You're doing your own thing then.
Yeah, like he's like,
decide.
this is the scene, just go do it, you know, instead of very specific instructions. So it's been different every time. So as an Yeah. So I used to get damn hassled. I used to be like, what's happening? Why am I not being told exactly what to do? Because, you do that, then you get used to that one thing, and then for the next one. But I also feel as an actor, in retrospect, definitely it kind of keeps you very alert. You're very aware,
Because you don't know.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So you're reacting very naturally, because you don't know what's going to happen. So it's very raw, it's very unrehearsed, So I think he's very versatile in his approach. It's a lot of things. And
Did he do that to you also? Did you go between sort of being told specifics to being told nothing?
Oh, absolutely. I think what's really interesting is that he's very adaptable as a director, and it really depends on the scene that we're filming, how he's going to instruct you. While she was saying this, I could recall instances on set where I've walked up to him and I'm like, okay, are you, because you expect sometimes for him to give you very specific instructions, like she said. It's explained down to the T, from the neck movement that he wants to the eye movement that he wants. He can be that specific in terms of what he wants to create on screen physically. And then there are times where you walk up to him and you're expecting him to give you an instruction, and he'll just be like, what? Go.
Go do it.
Go, do it. What are you waiting for? So it's fairly unnerving, and you feel as if you're out there in the wild on your own, and you have to fend for yourself. But like she said, it really keeps you on your toes as an actor. It keeps you aware and alert at all times, and you don't get used to a specific manner of working.
yeah, you don't see it
He
coming.
doesn't.
So
Yeah,
it's
he
always
doesn't have
very,
Yeah, he doesn't have a fixed process. I'm sure he does, within himself.
Sure, he knows what he's doing.
Internally.
Right.
But he doesn't get used to, he doesn't let you get used to a pattern of working. There's no pattern, per se.
So what did you learn from this experience that you can now apply?
Most amazing things I've learned from him has been his work ethic. He's very, very disciplined. We need to know our dialogues. We need to be prepared for the day. And he expects everybody to be prepared, not just the actors, He wants everybody to be prepared with, whatever they're supposed to do. And more importantly, he likes everyone's energies to be focused just on the film. Because at the end of the day, that's the hero. That's what we're all working towards, So instead of getting deviated towards lesser things and smaller things and small talk or focusing on completely irrelevant things, he wants all our energies to be directed
So no
that
phones
way.
on sets?
Well, I don't think we used.
I just, yeah.
I think we were just in a different space, in a different space. Yeah. So it wasn't one of those. I didn't even feel like looking at my phone, honestly.
He did, though. He used his cell phone. So I don't think he's not rigid about having rules.
Yeah.
But we didn't as actors, I think.
What did you learn, Ishaan? What did you take? What was your sort of biggest learning as you did Amir?
I think it is faith. One of the earliest conversations we had before we went on floors was he really sat me down and decided to talk to me. I remember he spoke about how he thinks it's most invaluable to strive to be a better human being. He said, I know you want to be a good actor and a good artist, but don't forget that first and foremost, we're all human beings, and what we do or say to each other counts the most. And so strive towards being a good person, and everything you want will come from that. And that's the note on which we started the film. And I think the story of the film reflects that. He makes all his films are connected with this universal theme of humanity and human values, and I think living that experience with him, both as an actor and as a character, I think it taught me a lot as a person and reassured me of the person that I want to be in the future. It was a very holistic learning experience. Of course, as an actor, there are things to learn every day. He's so tuned in and he's so focused, and he has, like she said, his work ethic is so strong that almost automatically everybody wants to deliver their best to him, and everybody
Behave better.
Yeah. And it's not something that he commands it. It's not something that he demands on set. So I think it's been a holistic learning experience as a person.
when actors first start out, there's such a wonderful innocence, if you will. You know, it's something that you can't fake. It's there. It's sort of ingrained. There's a certain rawness that's very endearing. How do you actually hold on to that? How do the two of you protect your souls?
Well, I don't know how to answer that question because I am who I am, and I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what I could be in the future, or you know what I have been. But I don't know. I mean, I truly believe in just, you know, being honest to myself and not really changing that. Just yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't really know how to elaborate that actually.
I think it's important to hold on to your set of values and stay connected to who you are before you become a film actor and before you have all of these responsibilities of being a public figure and presenting yourself in a certain manner, and you have so many responsibilities towards so many people. You know, for example, right now this is the first time I'm experiencing promoting a film. I have to be here, I have to be present, I have to talk about the film, I have to represent the film in an efficient manner, I have to talk about what, you know, the essence of the film is and not get carried away and talk about myself. And so you have various responsibilities as an actor, and sometimes I guess it can be pressurizing. It depends on how much you take on and how much you don't. But you see what I mean? The pressures of being an actor. But I think it's important to hold on to who you are and keep living life as the person. I think it's important to be an ordinary person. If you want to be an extraordinary actor, you've got to be able to be an ordinary person, you know?
I mean, that is wonderful. I would fully agree with that. But Ishaan, how do you do it? I mean, you've seen startup up close and personal. You know how crazy it is. You've already got the paparazzi following you everywhere. I mean, the pressure of being the next big thing. How do you stay ordinary?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with your perspective and outlook towards life. I think to recognize that, you know, a lot of these externalities, for example, fame and, you know, success in whatever way people like to define it, are fleeting things, and they come and go in everybody's life, as do we. And it's important to hold on to the things that really do matter. And the things you can sustain are who you are as a person, how you treat others, how much you're growing from every experience you're having, your craft, your acting, your abilities as a performer, and to not be complacent if you experience this sudden surge of success, to keep working as if, you know, it didn't happen. Yeah. And that's something I've learned directly from Mr. Majidi. He's 57 years old, you know. He's a senior man and he is on his toes when he's on set. You have to see him. He's made a film that I feel is probably his grittiest and his you know, his most raw, rustic image of a culture and a city that he's ever created before, and he's doing it at 57. And he shared with me oftentimes, he would say, it feels like I'm making my first film again, you know. And you've got to, I don't know what the secret formula is, but you've got to retain that innocence. You've got to, and I think it comes from knowing that you can lose it. It's not all.
It's not forever.
It's not, and it's not all kudrat and talent, and you know, you can't just, you know, sit up and, oh, I've given this great performance in a film, and it doesn't mean you will in your next film. It doesn't have to mean that, you know. And every experience is different. And I think what's most exciting for me as an actor is to explore different avenues, to explore myself, explore different characters within myself, and live life in different ways. That's what excited me always about being an actor, you know. As an actor, you can be everything. You can get a taste of everything, you know. And yeah, that's what pretty much everything interests me, you know. I think it's a great profession for people with ADHD.
Yeah,
I really think it is. And yeah, so I think it's just to keep striving to move forward, and, you know, to retain that energy.
And not to believe your own press.
Yeah. Oh, not to believe your own press at all. Don't even believe other people's press.
That's right. Yeah. That's probably right.
Very pressing issue. It's true.
On that happy note, thank you so much and good luck with the movie.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ishaan.
I'm Malvika.
And if you like this video, please do subscribe to Film Companion.